Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast for September 27th through October 5th of 2017. Thank you so much, everyone, for subscribing to my website. I'm so excited. And please, new viewers, know that you can subscribe to my website. The link will be below in the description box, and get your own free mini ebook entitled The Higher Self Blueprint of Mastery by yours truly. As you know, my new book, The Reiki Apprentice, will be released October 19th. I'm so excited. It comes from my heart. There are powerful teachings in this book that I learned on my own with the universe, on sitting half naked on the top of a mountain, and with my grand Reiki master teacher. I apprenticed with her for 3 years. I documented every single moment, and it's all in the book. Whether you're into Reiki, whether you're into multidimensional healing, understanding the metaphysics of how the universe works and cracking the code to your internal matrix and, in turn, the external matrix, this book is for you. If you're interested in learning to heal your life, this book is for you. I experienced sexual abuse. I was an obese child. I was bullied in school. And those 3 things were the things that marked me and scarred me for my whole life. Learning to heal my life with Reiki, learning applied metaphysics. In doing those 2 things, I learned how to heal my life. And that's a big deal, because now I live free. I live sovereign. I'm not still a victim of my past. I lived as a victim for my whole life. And I actually lived to be a victim up until I turned around 40 years old. The book documents me from about 5 years old to about 31 years old and my journey. And please join me. It is an adventure. If I was going to call it, there's 2 things I'd say. I'd say it's Eat, Pray, Love on acid. I'd also say it's Eat, Pray, Love meets Carlos Castaneda meets Shirley MacLaine, right? Out on a limb, separate reality, Eat, Pray, Love. It's that kind of an energy, but there's even more to it. It's very deep, beautiful, metaphysical, and I'm so grateful to share it with you. It's available now for pre-order on Amazon. Go purchase it. It's only $9.99. Get it ready for download on your Kindle on October 19th. The first 10 people to have a verified purchase through Amazon and to leave me a review on Amazon are going to go into a draw. And one person out of those 10 is going to receive a 30-minute tarot reading with me. So thank you so much for your love, for your support. I'm so very grateful for it. Thank you for being here with me and letting me be here with you. Okay, so let's get on with the reading. Again, this is our weekly tarot energy forecast, and this is for September 28th through October 5th of 2017. Let's give the cards a shuffle and take a moment to call in our angels, our guides, ascended masters, perhaps loved ones that have passed from this life that we feel called to just ask their assistance and their ability to hold a sacred space with us. We'll call in our animal totems and just all those divine guardian angels that we feel guided to be with us now. And I call in my own as well, that I may speak the highest word and give the clearest messages for one and all. And as always, for those that might be guided to watch a short portion of this or only get to watch half, may they get everything they need from this reading. And for those that we can stick around for the whole thing, same for us. May we just get everything that we need to hear that will help to connect the dots and aid and support our healing path. And so it is, and so it is. Okay, what are we going to do? What am I guided to do? Cut it into 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick 3. Consciousness. The Lovers. Aloneness. Well, that's interesting. Aloneness and the Lovers. Now we're going to put these all back together. We're going to shuffle again. We're going to cut them in half, and then I'm being guided to pick 2 from each pile. Fighting. Okay, we had this recently. Trust. That's beautiful. And then from this pile, we have receptivity. Oh, I can see something peeking out there. Abundance. And just because it's peeking out, existence. Okay, so let's take a moment to look at these cards and see what's happening for us this week, September 28th through October 5th of 2017. So right away, there is this shift in consciousness. We are moving away from the fighting. We're moving away from the need, the habit, the addiction to fighting within. And, you know, there is so much stimulation in the world right now. There is so much, and there's always a million things and a billion things going on in the world, but because we live in the social media age that we do now, and because we have instant access to information at our fingertips, online, on our phones, everyone has a phone, and they're very, very well, very well in their phone. You know, everything we do is a phone. Hardly people who don't even wear a watch anymore because everything is on the phone. We don't memorize phone numbers anymore because it's all in the phone. What's the point? The point is, what I've noticed on my phone, and this was right before the eclipse, and I meant to put it in the trinary video. I'm going to put a link here, the trinary videos, and I'm going to continue talking about the trinary. I've just been gathering more downloads and information to share with you. But if you want to know about it, please watch there. There's an introduction, and then there's a full length. You know, right before that eclipse, our recent solar eclipse, I noticed that I was getting more and more notifications on my phone, or just notifications, not even more and more, but just notifications on my phone. And I wear glasses to read and to look at things up close. So I would see my phone and I'd be like, oh, from a distance, it would have the little square in the corner, and I'd be like, oh, I got an email. Okay, let me check. And I'd hold it up close, and when I actually opened it up, I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. This is a CNN report, or this is something about the president, or this is something from Huffington Post, or something from TMZ. And I noticed it's like more and more and more and more and more. And I'm going like, when did this start? I never got these things. I never signed up for them. There's nowhere in my phone that I can see I can disconnect from them. But I'm getting all these signals from social media, from the media, whoever that is, right? Whoever runs that, whoever owns that. And we don't have to get into conspiracy here. We'll talk a little bit about that stuff in the next trinary videos. Bottom line, a lot of fighting really stems from stress. And there's the stress of not sleeping well, not eating well, being overtired. There's emotional stress that we could be going through. There's mental fatigue as well, right? When we're just really working hard on a project and we get short-tempered. But because this is especially a card of the mind, and because I'm speaking on it today and I want to add to it, it's very important that we are mindful of everything that we allow into our energy field, including the news that we receive through those gadgets that we have on our bodies often, some 24 hours a day. It's very important because we get to understand that there's an underlying level of stress that occurs when we are constantly bombarded on a subconscious level with headlines of war, of attack, of terror, of negativity, and not to say that we can't be aware of what's going on in the world, of the disasters, of the weathers, of all the things going down. Yet there's a certain point where we can educate ourselves, we can receive downloads, look at the news, choose which news outlet we watch, and then also turn it off and just digest that information. And what's happening is we're becoming these receptacles of receiving so much, just a barrage of images, really awful images of dreadful headlines. And all this stuff, even if you don't buy into it, every time you give it your attention and you click in and you go to read the story. Now, granted, if that's something you're into and that's what your thing is, and you don't feel disturbed, or you don't feel stress, or you don't feel that it's making you more short, or that it's taking energy from you where you could have more energy for yourself. If you don't feel that, then this doesn't apply to you. But I know there's a lot of empaths. There's a lot of people that are just spiritually sensitive. There's a lot of folks that are dealing with addiction that feel ungrounded and that are not able to root into a sense of their own power because they don't know how to hold their space yet in their energy, right? And so psychically, they feel bombarded. And energetically, we are all being bombarded by the media. So this causes stress within us. All these subconscious subliminal messages that we get every day, you don't have to open them. They might come up as little notifications, but you could just press clear or, just delete, whatever it is. Because this is causing separation. And the truth is that we are one. That's why we pray. That's why we meditate. And that's why this card, I believe, came up right next to it, consciousness. This is our card. What do we say? We say meditate, meditate, meditate. And it's not for any other reason but than to be in the world and not of it. It's to be able to better cope and to better feel a sense of your own love, light, empowerment, your own grounding and connecting with the source that is greater than you, greater than what the world tells us is the truth. And that then becomes your wellspring of power and of clarity. And we also meditate, look at him, look at her, however you see this figure. Look at the third eye. The third eye is lit. We also meditate so that we can move away from the dual vision of the physical eyes. The more we meditate, the more the third eye becomes activated and illumined and lit up. That's the pineal gland. That's actually all your glands in the head, in the brain, work together. But specifically, the pineal gland is the master gland when it comes to you seeing with Christ's vision. Okay? And when I say that, what I'm talking about is thine eye be single, meaning thine eye, thy vision, sees one love, sees in unity consciousness, not duality, love and fear, polarized consciousness, but has that vajra, that diamond sharp truth that is always rooted and grounded in the Most High, that is love. And I'm realizing this is kind of feeling very serious today. And usually I'm a little more lighthearted. But I'm feeling this. I'm feeling and I'm sensing and I'm seeing, and from other people and my family members and others in my circles, what they're experiencing and what they're going through. And it's deep and it's heavy, and you know what? It's real for them. For others, you may not feel anything. For some of us, we might feel like it's business as usual, no big deal, fine, great. But for those of you who are feeling sensitive, who are feeling agitated, who are feeling, who are easily rallied up and who are just uber sensitive, and there's too much bombardment of information, and it's making you feel like you need to put your spikes on, it's making you feel like you need to be angry, like you need to put your dukes up and protect yourself. That's exactly what the media does. Is it calls for separation consciousness. And what the Most High truth is that we are one, and that love and light will always bring you home. Like I was talking about earlier, to being able to access and bridge heaven on earth. It is a choice to live in peace. It is a choice to choose love, to choose that you are going to trust love. I did a retreat over the weekend in Los Angeles for the autumnal equinox. And one of the girls was saying, and we were talking deeply about the higher self, and she was saying, it's such a trip because, and I used to live in downtown LA in the exact same building as where she lives. And it's pretty hopping. The energy downtown is pretty juiced up. And she's like, wow, man, sometimes I don't even want to leave the apartment. And I feel like I need to, like that she has a choice. Because there's such a bombardment of all sorts of different energy going on. And to leave one's abode and to go into this flux of cray-cray out there. She says she has to really deliberately, with all of her heart and soul, choose to place peace in her heart and in her mind, so that as she goes out into the world, into the craziness of that city, that's what she chooses. And that's exactly it. And that's actually mastering your time and space. That's a part of that. So I wanted to share that because that's so important. What's going on in the world right now? Because we have front row seats, VIP seats, and it's right there. It's next to your head if you sleep with your phone. And we're going to talk about that in trinary as well. Be mindful, balance the scales, know that you can turn it off and drop into a place of deeper consciousness, so that those clouds of what the world, of what the media keeps telling us is the truth, disappear, and you drop into a greater truth. Because this is where we're going. You know this card. We've got, well, maybe it's been about 4 months, but receptivity. This is what is your nature. Your nature is to be calm, is to be at peace. And look at the Sushumna. Look at this crystalline tube. Look at the pathway, the nadis, the channels that interweave themselves up and down that spinal column, up into the lotus, that is that crown chakra. And look at all the lines of connectivity and receptivity that expand and reach out up to the highest love and light there. Beautiful little sprinkly, glitter dust of the cosmos. And the waters within this being, the waters, the emotional state of this person are very calm, right? Not this, but this. This is what happens when we meditate. All of our channels become open and receptive, and we can with greater ease receive the download of the Most High Love. We can receive the downloads because of peace and of love and of light. Because peace and love and light and your perfect health and your perfect wealth and abundance and greatness and empowerment are actually your true inheritance. But everything in the world would have us think that we need to be something else or work really hard in order to have it or to get it or to be it. But the truth is, all you have to do is practice relaxing. That's in a book I'm writing in the Heaven on Earth series, that's the first rule. That's the first gift that we learn to give to ourselves, is how to relax. Because when you get to know who you are in a relaxed state, the whole world changes. You know that saying, your outside environment is fully a reflection of what's going on in here. And when in here is clear and connected to a higher power, to a higher love, a higher light, well, what shows up on the outside is exactly that. We live in an infinitely dimensional matrix system. So you can choose anything. You can choose to be at war. You can choose to be afraid. You can choose to battle. You can choose to choose division and see and invest yourself in polarity. Or should I say, to look and to invest yourself in polarity. Or you can see thine eye be single beyond the duality of this universe to a place and a plane and a spectrum of your being, of all of our well-being, where heaven on earth resides, where peace exists, where peaceful solutions that are sustainable for a collective consciousness to exist in harmonic resonance with one another and with the earth. That's what exists. But you don't know that. We don't get to know that. We're not privy to that information unless we meditate. Even today, I have Kriya yoga practices that I do. And I'm sitting there doing the Kriya, and in the back of my mind, I'm getting this download. I'm going like, oh my God, this is like one of the whole main contender reasons why I get the downloads that I do, not only of peace and of love and my ability to be in the world and not of it, but of a much larger picture of the metaphysics of how this stuff works, of a gaze behind the veil to the Wiz, the Wizard of Oz, Although that may maybe not be the best. That may not be the best example. Okay. So that leads us to existence, right? And so when we relax and slow down enough to remember that we are one with something much greater than ourselves, well, what happens is we do start to bridge heaven on earth, and we do begin to see a new world, a new earth. We begin to embody that and bring that energy to earth ourselves. We begin to collectively realize that who we are and what we are is actually bigger than what we think. There's actually more to it than the world would have us know. And that's powerful. That is powerful. That is outside of all the paradigms that we've been taught about how the world works, what we have to be afraid of, what's right, what's wrong, that old binary system. Yes, no. All we have are two options. It's like a multiple choice, but there's only yes or no. And that's how we've been living. You're either going to love this or you're going to fear it. There hasn't been any middle ground. And what we're being invited to is to learn who we are through making choices of that middle path. And learning who we are in that space of the trinary. And create that path for ourselves. And if others are guided to follow, then so be it. Okay. Again, feeling very deep and metaphysical here, but this is what's up. This is what's up. So I do see this very interesting with the last 4 cards. So we have this energy of aloneness, right? This is the hermit. This is you, the sage, the master, on their path, being a light unto themselves, being fully empowered on their own, knowing their mission, knowing their path. And this is you trusting that. So for a long time, we had all these cycles of change, right? Oh, and last week, the baby was going to be birthed last week, and or maybe we're getting ready to give birth. Okay. So I don't see any massive birthing this week. Maybe your birth came last week, but we are definitely in that zone of preparation, of organizing, of being ready, right? Remember last week it was all like get the towels, get the doctor, the doula, the teepee, whatever for the birthing of whether it was a child or a project. Like get all your ducks in a row and just be ready, but also be ready for the universe to do a switcheroo. Things might change. So with this trust, what I'm seeing here is that we've so learned to become a badass and to listen to the truth in our hearts, to have the courage to follow it and to trust it. And this is 4D. This is 4D, heart chakra. Even though the trust, it's blue and it's a card of the emotions, well, you know what? The throat chakra is what resonates to the color blue in the traditional spectrum of the chakra teachings. And this is the bridge. This is the faith line. From the heart all the way up. So we're moving into a place of love, of trust, of compassion, of faith, of knowing, beyond perception into knowing. Right? Faith goes into a place that defies reason. There's very little logic in faith. That's why science is always trying to catch up with spirituality. Because folks are using their minds to equate what's happening on these ethereal realms. So, bottom line is aloneness, trust. So you've learned how to come into your power. And you know what? You've also learned how to relax on new levels and trust yourself and see this book and it really tickles me. So this character, this abundance character, is sitting on this book. And this symbolizes your book of life. It's like my book that I wrote. You want to heal your life? Write the story of your life. I mean, talk about dredging up the most painful, woeful stuff, but ultimately so that you could get it out and release it that you be healed by those releases and by those abilities of expression, by getting it out of you. So this is you. This is us. You have learned something about yourself. And you will learn something about yourself this week, September 28th to October 5th. This is a really powerful week of you learning self-mastery, a new level of self-mastery. Look at this character. This person is so relaxed and so at one. The moon and the sun behind them, both the masculine and the feminine qualities, are in balance. They are not worried about how the rent is going to be paid. They are not concerned if World War III is going to happen. They are not freaked out about anything. They are simply being. And they are trusting. And they have come into their own power and wisdom. And really spiritual sustenance, which has given them a grounding here on earth that cannot be paralleled. And that's what you're invited into. And it's very interesting because you are rooted now in this power of trusting your path. You've ingrained enough tracks in your own path that you cannot be swayed. It will take a lot for you to be swayed and moved, or it will have to be your choice to be moved. And you're beginning to realize, like, yes, you can do things your way. You know, recently I've had offers to, I teach yoga, okay, as a part of my path. When I'm not writing, making videos, I teach yoga. And I have my Reiki clients, my Reiki students, and I teach workshops and little retreats and stuff. And recently, you know, I've been offered to take on all these other yoga classes. And I had to say no, thank you very much. You know, I always keep a door open for the future, but currently I'm very grateful my plate is full. And I've learned how to do that. And that comes from a place of abundance consciousness. So how is your life reflecting that now? In the past, I would have taken I would have said yes to every single thing because of my lack consciousness, my poverty consciousness, because of where I was at with that. And now I'm learning to trust and to balance and to really honor my path and the quality of life I appreciate and that I choose to live. And it's not working from morning to night. When I lived in New York, I did that. Worked from 6 in the morning till midnight, hustling and bustling. But that was a different time. And a lot of that's documented in the book. But the point is that here comes this special person. I feel like we're supposed to pull one last card. And I almost feel like the little glitter in the hair of both of these people is sparkling as I move the card a little bit. This is chemistry, this is attraction, this is past life knowing, and this is love. This is romance. This is the beginning, whether you're in a committed relationship, this is the beginning of a new phase of your level of commitment and of the love awakening within your hearts together, not just one-sided. And if you're single, if you're independent, as I call it, this is really heralding someone. I keep getting this is someone really different and someone new. This is not the usual. This is not who you have attracted in the past. This is someone of a different caliber. And let's see if we can ask here. Yes, we will ask. We won't see if we can. We will. We'll ask the cards and our guides, ascended masters, all of our loved ones, to help give a clarifying card with regard to the lovers. What card would most illumine us in the most beautiful and highest ways that we can receive that which is most high for us? Well, the change card. Okay, so, and we have so many major arcanas in this reading this week. We have existence, we have the lovers, aloneness, and now change. This is a completely different person than you've ever attracted before, and I want to say congratulations. Congratulations. Because this marks the change within yourself. This marks you practicing a new level of self-love. You practicing a new level of saying yes to the truth in your heart. And because you're saying yes to the truth in your heart, and because you're learning, you're gathering wisdom, you're learning self-mastery, you're trusting your heart, you're living your truth, you're on your path. Oh my gosh, and then this new energy comes in, either to your relationship or into your life, that is completely different. They're going to look different. If you have a type, they're not going to look like that type. They may even be from a foreign country, I'm hearing. And obviously there's going to be attraction and chemistry and enough, complementary conditions that you have a kind of an energy and attraction, a connection with this person. Yet they are so going to symbolize and reflect the change that you've put into place in your life. You can say yes to it, you can say no to it. You can go on one date, you can go for tea. You don't have to do anything with it if you don't want, but ready or not, new love, it's on its way. How beautiful. And since this practice has been so about this practice, it really is a practice. To me, reading these tarot cards allows me to create a bridgeway of communication with you. And I really, honestly, YouTube is my most, I feel the most affection and fondness for this platform of social media and of communicating. So I really do thank you, subscribers and people that watch all the time and that comment and thumbs up. And I know sometimes I watch other people's videos and I really like them and I forget to thumbs up. And here I am asking you. And it's just about getting these videos in the charts, so to speak. If no one's liking, if no one's watching, if no one's commenting, that they kind of stay at the bottom of the barrel. And as more energy is shown to be kind of percolating in them, well, they start to move up in their visibility in the realms of all things YouTube. And I would love that. I'm an author, an upcoming author, and I want to share my books and the teachings with you. I have healed my life. My life will never be the same. It will never be a victim ever again. I lived as a victim for 40 years of my life, undergoing traumatic stories in my youth and throughout my entire life. But you know what? That's all of our story. It's the hero's journey, and we're all on it. And that's why the story is so universal. And if you're into spirituality, you're into teachings, metaphysical teachings, energy tools, and understanding how to master your time and space and connect with your higher self and how to heal your life. And Reiki, most of all Reiki. Please do. I'm going to put that link. It's down in the description box. And I'm also going to put a link there. I invite you to subscribe to my website. The link will be down in the description box below. And when you do subscribe to my website, you receive my free mini ebook entitled The Higher Self, Blueprint of Mastery. And that'll give you a sense of where we're going with these upcoming teachings that I look so forward to share. Very, very soon I'm going to start my YouTube Live where we're going to have Q&A, we're going to have conversations, and we're going to talk about all things Reiki, all things metaphysical, all things healing. And I'm so grateful. I'm so very grateful. Thank you. Thank you for being here with all of my heart. Namaste.